So, Robert, what would you tell your younger self as an adult?
Be careful what you say. Community at large may or may not interpret it correctly, may or may not be philosophy side, based on the decisions you make behind the things that you say.
My behavior.
Most people will automatically assume that a thought that is brought into the air is a thought that can be brought into action, and that's not necessarily so. Sometimes you put thoughts into the air in order to expel them. You have to live out certain scenarios lest you travel down them in action. So if I were to tell my younger self anything, it would be to keep your mind closed. Your mind closed and use prudence. Prudence, prudence, prudence.
Mm.
Another thing I tell my younger self is choose. Choose something and really, really drive at it, because the ascertaining of multiple skills in all walks of life pretty much gets you nowhere. You become talented. You don't spend enough time in a specific field chasing something. You don't create an accomplishment behind it. You don't actually achieve anything, because real achievement takes time. Unfortunately, we only get in a certain amount down here. And if you don't concentrate and actually spend that time, that sacrifice of that time to get to a specific achievement, you're not going to get there. There's no fast roads. The lucky fast road that you see is one in a few 100 million. And even then, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. You might see a child actor. They know that they get everything from when they're a kid, but they don't get certain other things. They don't get life experiences that round out their philosophy. You go in different places, the streets, parks. If you go to a lot of different locations and study a lot of different things,
Yeah.
you can get philosophy. But without that experience behind the philosophy, uh, it doesn't actually come to fruition. It's just words that float around in your head. You don't put them into practice.
Mm.
And the and to tell you for real,
Right.
I would study the philosophies of Bruce Lee, because that man was a genius, absolute genius. Jeet Kune Do. It's the only martial art that you can do on your own. Always have something that you can explore spiritually and philosophically on your own, just in case you find yourself outside of social circles.
Mm. Mm.
But community is very important. You have to be able to go back and forth from the individual to the multitude. You have to be able to know when it is time to serve oneself in order to better serve the whole. So being able to step in and out of that with ease through spirituality, it's tough to achieve, but with practice you can do it. I tell every single kid, if you're going to get into anything when it comes to martial arts, I check out Jeet Kune Do and read his books, listen
Yeah.
to what he has to say. Man was a genius.
Not bad. What do you define a man as? What do you define being a man as?
Man is somebody who has figured out that they do not listen to other people tell them. Man is someone who pursues his own efforts stoically so that he can return to society with them and share them. A man is somebody who is both able to have enough self worth in oneself to push forward and achieve things and acquire skills for himself, but also enough humility as to be able to not only give it away, but to not try to stand over people and cast shadows. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
stoicism. Stoics, if you're going to study philosophy, study the Stoics. Stoics are amazing too. But a man is, you're going to self determine your And everybody has a happy medium. Everybody has their little happy point, you know. Some men are happier being, you know, the less physically trained, less stoically trained, more led, and they're comfortable there and they're fine with it. For me, no, man, I can't be. I don't like being led. Men, to me, men aren't led easily. They listen, they try, but they don't get led completely down paths and controlled, collared, and dogged. You know, but a man has self-discovery, but also listens. Now, in my position, I'm in my mid 40s, right, or early 40s technically. So, in my position, there are elders out there that know more than me, so I have to still treat them with respect, even though in their age they usually become a little grumpier.
Yeah, for sure.
But then I also have to not cast shadows over the young simply because they need the space to grow. You know, a tree that stands, a tree underneath large, tall trees casting shadows doesn't have room to breathe. It doesn't have that sunlight come in. All the waters get sucked from the soil into the larger trees. So they have to be given a safe space to where they can actually grow. You know what I mean? But you have to treat the younger like brethren. They're like your brothers, little brothers. You know, little brothers.
Yeah. Sure. Wow, man, you gave us some good insight today, man. My last question to you is: do you have anything to say to any younger man, older man, men on the channel? Period.
Yeah, we need to have more of a community amongst men, cooperation and understanding instead of beating our chests at each other, trying to be the biggest swinging thing in the room. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I tell you what, there's a lot that can be accomplished through brotherhood. A lot that can be accomplished, and that's where we stand today. I think a lot of us are isolated. You're seeing a lot more suicide in younger men in general, simply because that isolation and that push away allows them to get into their own head and stay there. And this, if you travel down those negative paths, it'll take you to dark places where you can either hurt yourself or other people. So speak your truth, speak to somebody that you're comfortable with to get something off. Just if you have to go out in the middle of nowhere and bellow your demons out of your body, do so. But have an exhaust system that doesn't focus outward onto other people or inward onto hurting yourself. Be able to cast your demons out healthy wise in a healthy way. You know, some people beat bags at a gym, you know. Some people are boxers, some people lift, some people, for a man, there's a certain element where you have to have a physical exertion to get that frustration away, you know? No video game's going to do it for you, nothing like that. You need to have some sort of physical means because although, albeit it's a pain, it's a small pain to go through the physicalness of it. What is it? What do they say? Pain is just weakness leaving the body. Yes. Right. There's a certain element men can really gain from pain. Now, controlled pain.
Right.
Controlled pain, right? Because controlled pain only brings growth in men. Controlled pain gives you more speed, gives you more strength, more flexibility, you know. So, and it's a way to exert yourself. But you have to have outlets. You have to have both. You have to have outlets physically. You have to have outlets mentally. You just have to have a general community, at least one or two, but if only one really good friend, one really good friend. That's all. That's all a lot of men really need. Now, men don't need like that. We don't need all that much attention. You know what I mean? In fact, if you get enough of it, it drives you nuts. If you let it. Yeah, if you let it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are you done?
No, yeah, that's about what I can think of right now. Okay. If you want to take down my number, you come up with any other questions you'd like to ask me, feel free to give me a call.
Yeah, of course. I will. We can definitely have a part two or something. We can sit down and have a more in depth conversation about your life. People share your story. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, let me know when this comes out so that I can take a look at it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's what's up.